I gave a eulogy for my sister. Palapakan natin si Mika.
And so, good evening sa inyong lahat. Una-una, I know na it's getting late na. At syempre, stress tayo sa finals. Kaya naman, we're gonna be starting with a quick icebreaker. So right now, I want all of you to close your eyes and imagine this scenario. You just came from your last LE for the SEM. You're confident you aced it. And the first things you see when you check your phone are 3 messages. The first is from your family inviting you to eat at a nearby restaurant. The second is from your friends inviting you to a night out at Pop-Up. And the third is from your crush inviting you on a date. Now, nakapikit pa kayo Now, can I get a raise of hands for those na ang sasagutin ay yung sa una, yung sa family? Wow, sweet naman. Alright, so how about dun naman sa second? Dun sa friends. Oh, nahiya pa kayo, dali taas nyo na. Ayan, so sa third naman, yung sa crush. Ayan, good luck na lang sa inyo. Alright, so you can open your eyes now. At salamat sa pag-participate sa aking on-the-spot audience analysis. And I want you all to remember your responses kasi the question I just asked you to consider embodies a lot of the main themes in my speech. This evening, my friends, ay, sorry, hindi ko pala napakita ko. Pero, ayan, so, this evening, we're gonna be talking about once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. Now, you may be wondering, what about this topic does my biggest what-if actually ask me? Well, to give you some background, why don't we have a little story time? Right, so, I want you to imagine again. It was a regular sunny day in June 2022. I was in the middle of an online class when suddenly, my ate entered the room and said, "Mike, punta ka dito sa kabilang kwarto. Punta ka sa kabilang kwarto after niyan. Nalaman lang nila mama at papa na nasa ICU na si Tino." She had tears in her eyes. I didn't exactly know what for, but I knew it was serious. So confused as I was, I just hoped for the best and went back to my online class. Besides, there was nothing to worry about kasi sobrang modern na ng technology ngayon, di ba? Pero I couldn't be more wrong. A few minutes later, she barged in again and said, "Mike, punta ka na dun ngayon. Sini-CPR na nila si Tino." This time, she was full on crying. She was full on crying. And it was only then when the full weight of what was actually happening set on me. The idea of losing a sibling had never occurred to me until then. Somewhere on the other side of the world, my sister, Christine, was being revived by a team of nurses and they were struggling. When I entered the other room, I thought to myself, no horror movie ever was ever a match for the harrowing scene that greeted me. There was a phone on the bed. It was on call with the head nurse handling my sister. My mother was sitting beside it with a rosary in hand and a gaze pointed to the heavens, while my father was kneeling on the ground with hands over his head, shaking from anxiety. In front of me were the strongest people I knew, paralyzed by fear and desperate in waiting for an update from the nurses. When it was finally announced that I had just lost a sister, our family collapsed into a chorus of weeping and disbelief. It was all so sudden that there was nothing we can do but give each other the longest hugs. A few weeks later, as we were preparing for the funeral, the conversation on who within the family would be giving eulogies popped up. Everyone was so eager. I immediately knew that it was going to be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But I couldn't bring myself to write. I couldn't write that eulogy, no matter how hard I tried. And it was the ugliest feeling ever, because it didn't make sense. It made absolutely no sense that I'd be unable to talk about someone I love that much, someone I considered my best friend, and someone who was a very huge part of me. So, as you can see sa picture, may rekomendado sa burrito. So, while everything was going on, I kept thinking, I kept thinking and thinking and thinking for possible reasons behind my inaction. Why was I unable to write that eulogy? I discovered that it was a mix of a lot of things. For one, I was afraid of being perceived. With something as personal as a eulogy, I didn't want to be diminished to the quality of my output. Knowing my family, I didn't want to give them and the other people the chance to compare me again in the first place. Two, I was afraid of being vulnerable. There were a lot of people at the funerals I didn't know, and I wasn't comfortable with letting people see that side of me. At the time, I felt as if I had to be consistent with how I was seen by the people at the funeral, and being out there would present too much of a different person. And three, I was afraid of not giving enough justice to what me and my sister had. It was already hard to put into words how much I was going to miss her, but it was harder to express fully just how much I loved her. These are only three among the many reasons that I realized, and eventually, they transformed into a deep regret, not just for my sister's passing, but moments with her that I allowed to slip by in general. It wasn't until a year after when I realized that the fears I had mentioned were nothing compared to the weight of the chance I didn't take. They were nothing compared to the emptiness, and more importantly, the guilt of not standing up for a love I held very dear to my heart. And I was so deep into this thinking that I managed to convince myself that I failed her as a little brother. But while I rewatched some of her favorite movies, I came across this one quote from Benjamin Button. He said, "Our lives are defined by opportunities, even the ones we missed." Now, this hit me because I've always thought of missed opportunities as irremovable stains, or a reservation I would forever carry. But I realized that missed opportunities are a natural part of life, that they're as inevitable as growth. We can't expect ourselves to always make the right decisions because after all, we're only human. It's normal for us to mourn missed opportunities the same way we mourn people. And I've come to realize that the eulogy I couldn't give for my sister was given for the opportunity instead. This shift in perspective changed my outlook on the whole thing. Learning to embrace the missed opportunity allowed me to be kinder to both my past and future self. I made peace with my biggest what if by accepting the definitions it had for me. And I invite everyone to do the same. Actually, ang ganda nga nung message ng speaker before me, "Now we'll always live with the wounds," kasi very similar. So, instead of thinking that we failed to take our chances, let's say we could have taken them. And optional na lang to, pero pwede nyo siyang samahan ng #bawi sa next life. Let's be more humane to ourselves, and moving forward, let's do better at not only recognizing once-in-a-lifetime opportunities, but acting on them as well. Maraming salamat. Okay, so